Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tdawgg. We've talked about some of the stuff before. Going pro, what it takes to go pro, how to go pro. I saw something on my Twitter today from a player named Korsonix, and it was him posting kind of a vlog style video where he's just sitting in his car talking about stuff. I was interested on what he had to say, and I've kind of gotten to a point here where I want to actually incorporate this into a little rant, a little talking session, because it's something that happens all the time in my stream. Yo, what should I be doing? How should I be doing it? Yo, is it even viable to go pro? This, then the other. Now, this isn't going to be a Tdawgg Classic 38.5 minuter, where I'll try to keep it shorter for everybody. But I will give you the honest perspective of someone who actually has insight, um, rather than someone who is kind of like like chasing like a dream or like whatever it is. And I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about in general. You asking your friends or you asking people in ranked, at least I have some point of reference rather than a ranked player or whatever it is. So I'm going to let him talk for a little bit here. We're not going to watch this entire video. It's pretty personal, not in like a private way, but he's just describing a lot of things that are personal to him, and this isn't like a reaction to his video. We're just going to be talking about the general consensus of what does it take to go pro in Valorant.
But yeah, it's just super hard, and I don't know. I've been playing the game for the past 5 years, basically not every day, but damn near close to every single day for I don't know, at least 5-6 hours a day, and yeah, I guess my life goals have kind of changed. I still believe that I can go pro and compete at a top, like, professionally, but it's to the point where I don't know if I want to sacrifice like my entire life on this kind of dream when after the past 5 years, it kind of feels like all of this time not really wasted, because I do enjoy competing and I've met a lot of really cool people playing. But yeah, it's kind of like, dude, do I really want to play the game every single day, 8 hours a day for free, just for the slight chance of making it professionally when, my life is like progressing, I guess. I'm getting older. I feel like I have more responsibilities every single day, and I'm going to college, and I don't know. I just don't want to put as much time into Valorant as I have, you know, for free. If I was getting paid, I think it would be a different story, but I need to pay for college. I want to start saving money to, I don't know, eventually, like, maybe start living on my own. So, yeah, it's just a super I'm just in a super, super tough position right now.
Okay, so we watched a little bit there, and to give you some more hindsight about the video, if you're not going to watch it yourself, basically, Korsonix is explaining his perspective on his experience of chasing his dream. He's talking about how he was playing on a team called Berserkers. Things were going good, but he ended up getting a job because he's looking to progress in real life as well, save money, go to school, this, that, and the other. That job takes up a lot of time. This Berserkers team is not interested with playing with someone who can't actually dedicate themselves to the team, because at the end of the day, especially when you're a free agent, you're really only going to go as far as your weakest link can go. It's just like the nature of a team-based game. So I know a guy like Screwface who has done very well in gaming, and he is self-sufficient in his own regard. Don't know the story behind everybody on his roster, but I know that the majority of them are young and they don't really have like a lot of responsibility or a lot of stuff going on, so they can dedicate a lot of time to the game. Again, he's set himself up where he can dedicate a lot of time to the game even if he's not getting paid a salary. they cannot be limited by someone like this. And everything that Korsonix has talked about, by the way, I think that is applicable to almost anybody who has this question of, can I go pro? How hard is it to go pro? Whatever it ends up being. And this is what I'll tell you, and this is what I would tell him. I would rather see you go 110% for as long as you can, rather than this on and off 40, 80, 60, 90, 40, 60%, where you're just like up and down, you know, things are going on, you're not really dedicated, but you show up. Now, he brings up this thing that he's been playing for 5 years and he's damn near played every day. So I went to his tracker. I don't care if he has an alt account that he uses, you know, that's a problem in itself. Here's his tracker. His peak amount of time invested in an act is 156 hours. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The last 14 acts. For reference, every 2 episodes is 1 year. For the last 1, 2 year and a half, it has been 2.5 years since he has invested 100 hours into an active ranked. Scrolling down on his teams here in the past 2.5 years, I don't see any single one of them that had anything special going on whatsoever where he could not have been grinding this entire time. And this in itself is a problem that free agents will run into. Okay? Team to team to team to team to team to team to team to, you know, it's just all over the place. Getting back to the tracker here and even his all-time on VLR, the individual, I'm not sure if he has an identity. To me, he just seems like a rifler, a guy who will just pick up a gun and run around and he will do a, you know, average job on whatever he's playing. Seems confident in his mechanics. Same thing shows here. Looks like he's kind of just picking or filling whatever he needs to play the game, and he's just playing the game, right? So again, getting back to what he's talking about with this time investment thing, a lot of people trick themselves. Playing on that alt account, sitting on the computer for 10 hours a day, playing 1 or 2 ranked games, they trick themselves into thinking that they're putting effort in. They're putting their all in. They're really doing it. You're not. You're not. You know, no offense to him, but it isn't even remotely close. Okay. This is my tracker account. This is what I started off doing in this game. 200, 300, 260, 250, 230, 250, 270. And then you start to see a drop off here. Less time. So episode 6, 7, 8. What's going on in episode 6, 7, 8 for Tdawgg, where he is playing less ranked? Okay, he's in Challengers on Shopify. Okay, he's in Challengers on Core, and he moved to Texas. Okay, he's in Challengers on he's in Challengers on Sentinels and TSM. Okay. So now it's making a little more sense why Tdawgg isn't playing a lot of ranked. Sorry, he's playing you know, a fair amount, but he isn't hard grinding ranked 24/7. He's got other stuff going on. Again, got to make sure you're putting the time in. When I'm playing 3, 4, 5 scrim maps a day, I'm still playing ranked. I'm still going into the customs practicing. I'm still VOD reviewing. I'm still watching matches. I'm still creating content. I'm still streaming. I'm still recording videos. I'm still working with brands, trying to level myself up. I'm here. I'm giving it. I'm giving it what I can every single day. People aren't doing that. You're tricking yourself into thinking that you are. You've burned a lot. You've burned a lot of time. And you haven't gotten a lot out of it. And it's a direct reflection of your effort and the quality of that time. Okay. So again, going pro, it being feasible. How do you go pro? It seems like it takes so long to go pro. He's been playing for 5 years and he hasn't had an opportunity yet. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, it's really straightforward. I'll tell you right now. If you do not have a plan of self-sufficiency and how to support yourself, you are most likely not going to last. what he's talking about is completely normal. Responsibility, things coming up, wanting to save money for this, that, the other. 100%, bro. That's fucking life. 100%. I understand completely. Have you been trying to monetize any form of anything? Your Twitch stream, your YouTube, your TikTok? Have you reached out to work with brands? Hell, are you looking to get things for free? Peripherals, whatever it might be, in exchange for tweets or interactions or posts on these social media forums that you should be building and networking alongside all of this, right? You have to be able to keep shoveling that coal, whatever it is, throwing the logs on the fire. No one's gonna fucking do it for you, bro. No one's coming in and donating, and just funding your entire life. It's not how it works. There's plenty of generous, incredible people online on platforms like Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, who maybe see a little bit of themselves in a player, maybe just respect or like a player, maybe want to see a player do well, and they end up doing those acts of generosity like gifting or giving them things. Absolutely. But again, you need to have some sort of face, you need to have some sort of existence, you need to be there for that to actually count. And that would be my biggest piece of advice to anybody who is trying to come up or exist in whatever it is to play the shit out of ranked and challenge yourself. And while you are doing that, capture some of these moments and try to create something unique. And if you are stumped and you can't create something unique, it's okay. Just make sure people can put the face to the name. Exist. I want to see Twitter. I want to see Instagram. I want to see TikTok. You gotta have a YouTube channel. Gotta have a Twitch account. You gotta exist, man. Because the time you play up against FNS and he calls you fucking horseshit and you're never gonna accomplish anything, whatever it is, and he types in that name, something better fucking come up. Because if it doesn't, yeah, see, it's a nobody. Yep, see, that's nobody. And then everybody in chat, you're owning a Pujan. This fucking slob. Holy fuck, this guy's shit, bro. You're the greatest ever. WIG. You know what I mean? Like they're all those thousands of people that are watching. They all believe the same thing now. These streamers wave their fucking wands around and they just mesmerize the crowd that are watching them, and they just believe whatever they say. So again, it's very important to exist. And the thing that I just referenced, it's very important to not take that to heart, because if you can't, now I'm not saying you can't shit talk back or you can't fight back. You absolutely can. But if you get rattled to the core when things like that happen, you get shit talked by a guy on stream, you get into a fight with a pro or whatever it is, and it like shuts you down and you have to like get off or you need to be done, you're probably not cut out for this. Okay. Let's get away from Korsonix's personal situation and let's just start talking about challengers in itself. So the situation right now in terms of going pro, this is your way in. Okay. I'm not going to talk about anything tier 3 or under. That's just competing and training yourself as an individual, trying to network along the way, and putting yourself in a position where you're grinding, training yourself, trying to get better. Really like looking to get on the level of these teams. So this is your tier 2 right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Okay. You got around 7 orgs in the game that are paying. I skipped over M80 because they're gone. Now let's backtrack. This core team is gone, and I don't believe they're paying anything. Okay. YFP, I don't think is paying a livable salary. TSM is not paying a livable salary. Cubert Academy is probably not paying a livable salary to all their players. So you got Envy paying a livable salary to people, and it looks like that's about it in terms of the amount of time that you're playing this game. So again, you're going into this knowing that you are not going to just like just become rich. This isn't the crypto boom of 2021 where people are getting paid 30, 40, $50,000 a month. Yes, those are real numbers that actually happened on rosters that won nothing and sucked. Yes, 100%. You need to go into this with a killer mindset. You need to want to show up every day. That's the difference. When he mentions again, money might change that for me. It won't. It won't. If you can't show up when you aren't getting shit, nothing's just gonna change your motivation or anything like that when you start to get it. You're gonna feel a sense of accomplishment when you start to get it, and you're gonna feel like you need to show up less. That's what happens to these people when they get signed. Okay. Frequently asked question. Something we'll try to end on here. I am rambling. Is it viable to go pro? Yes. Is it viable to do something like this? No. There's not enough time left. It's shrunk. The amount of time that you have, you need to be efficient with it. You can't fuck around and waste time. You can't have 60-hour ranked acts. You need to be fucking showing up and playing because you have nothing else to do. At the tier 3 and lower level, even in tier 2, ranked is more important than practice. Ranked is more important than playing your matches. The amount of eyes and attention that you get from that front page, that top 50, whatever it is, matters way more than your shitty ass free agent team that can't make playoffs. No one gives a fuck about you, bro. You don't even exist in that shit. However, if you polish yourself as an individual and show that you have individual prowess and, you know, you're a weapon, you could be worked on. That's what people are looking for now in terms of scouting. This timeline here of grinding for 2 years before I ever signed a real contract in this game. I was paid money on Recon 5, but before that I was never paid any money. This isn't a thing that you're going to see anymore. It's going to be very quick, kind of like rises in progression. So I would say if you're an individual who feels like you're stumped or you don't necessarily know what you're doing or how you're doing it, yes, the slow grind is real. You know, you're looking at it right now. But at the end of the day, it's a very different thing. The amount of people that were playing, the amount of opportunity that existed, how hype and popular it was, it's fizzling a little bit, right? You know, it's slowing down. A lot more people are kind of like-minded in this regard, where it's a dog-eat-dog world. Everybody's looking to get ahead. So again, you got to position yourself to do so. You got to position yourself to get ahead. You got to be there to do it. And I think a pretty easy approach to doing that is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I can tell you right now. I don't know if you saw the most recent Masters, actually both of them. Talent isn't really working hard here, guys. NA is not in the best spot it's ever been. I would say that there's going to be a big wave of people who are being cycled out. We already saw it last year a little bit, but it's going to be an even bigger wave this year at the end of it. Not only VCT, but VCL too. You're going to see a lot of people throwing up that quitting tweet. Appreciate it. Had fun. Put in that 110% and don't be scared, you know, for something to go wrong or for something not to go your way. You need to view playing, not only ranked, but matches as well as this. You do not care about winning or losing. If throughout that days and weeks of practice, you put in everything you could. And when that match showed up, you were prepared and you put in everything that you could. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You did everything you could. There's no secret sauce. There's no hidden text that you have to cut through vines in a jungle to find in an ancient temple. It's literally that. Actually put in quality time, take yourself serious, and be proud of taking yourself serious. Don't name yourself Silly Salamander 7 and run around on Reyna and not work with anybody and not try. Don't do that. Oof, don't do that. Also, don't be the toxic elitist who's flaming people round 1 and 2 because your expectations are way too high, right? Got to make it about yourself. Got to have that you got to be careful with that external locus of control. You can't just push blame, and you can't just not take any accountability. Weaponize it. Make it internal. Make it an unrealistic internal. You're losing games because you have a no-commer, or your team is shit, or whatever. I don't give a fuck. How are you going to win? What do you need to do to carry yourself out of the situation? This is how you have to train yourself. I promise you it's the way to think. You will hone your game sense. You will hone understanding win conditions and developing paths where you can actually win games you shouldn't. And these are the qualities that people are looking for in individuals. People that are confident, people that know what they're doing, and people that are interested in, getting better. And again, you have to show that by being able to get to a point where you're good enough yourself. You have to prove to people in this game that you can at least find your footing. You don't need to be set up to walk. You at least found your footing and you're walking. Now an organization, a team, they can help you run, right? This is what we're thinking on here. But at the end of the day, Tier 2 is in a really bad spot. The path to Tier 2 is in a really bad spot. The thing that I would recommend to literally everybody is take Collegiate. Potentially saving tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, lifelong memories. You're not necessarily going pro, but you're at least getting something out of the game. And again, you don't have to do that. I respect any and everybody who goes down the path of competing. Whether you make it and get an opportunity or you don't. All that matters to you. Not what you did, who you are, what people will think about you. None of it. All that matters is that you put in effort, time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, and you actually gave it a go. That will be a thing that brings you closure when you think about it. I actually gave it a go. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe you got a little unlucky in terms of the role you played or the meta you were in, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. The time comes up where, life hits you and you got to focus on other things. Hey, man, at least you gave it a try. You are able to experience something that such a small fraction, small percentage of people will ever be able to experience. And you should be grateful for it. But hopefully I gave some good perspective there on what going pro is like. Little synopsis for anybody who missed out on the points. When you're on the journey of going pro, be there for yourself because no one else is going to be. And that includes supporting yourself, figure out a way to do it. It could be coaching, it can be editing, it can be graphic design. It could be you building a brand and becoming self-sufficient in that regard and working with other, companies, whatever it might be. Focus on yourself as an individual and make sure that you are ready to exist in a team environment. Unrelated, but this is the same exact thing that I would tell someone who's asking for like dating advice or like whatever it is. You need to actually have control and an understanding about yourself as a person before you get entangled in someone else's life. Because when you don't, and you're immature, and your actions are reflecting that, you're going to, hurt another person and potentially really send their fucking life off the rails. So it's something to consider. And the same thing works here in a team-oriented game, You got to be there for yourself and understand what you want to do and how you want to do it, and you won't always figure it out instantly, but you need to be on the path of doing so. And when you exist in that team environment, you should be able to assist everybody else, help them grow, help them get better, and they should be feeding off that energy and doing the same thing to you. It's a mutual relationship in that regard. Going pro in this game is bleak. I would be lying to you if I told you that all it took was showing up every day. That's an absolute great thing to do. You need to play the cards a little bit here, and you need to not have like a movie script that you're working off of. You're not going to have some meteoric rise and beat out everybody and be the best in the world. You need to play the cards a little bit. You're going to do some networking. You're going to behave and, be normal. You're going to come across as a sane person, and other sane people will notice that. Build up that friends list, interact with people, put yourself in a position where, again, you exist and you aren't taking this solo journey like by yourself trying to brute force it. But yeah, I'm really interested to see the comments that are put on this video, what people think, whether you are trying to go pro, whether you've considered it, whatever it is. Shout out to Korsonix for making this video in the first place and having the capability to just like talk about this stuff and be open about it. I think it's a really cool thing. I think a lot of people are very scared to explain how they feel, and it's a good thing that he's able to do it. So yeah, I mean that's really it. Definitely a ramble. No main focal points in terms of a checklist. Just wanted to kind of like get that perspective off my chest. Hopefully it helps somebody out there who is maybe going through the same thing or thinking about something similar. As always, I appreciate the time. Make sure you guys follow along on Twitch, where I stream just about every day. And I will see you in the next one. Tdawgg out of here. Deuces.